Alrighty, let's have a talk. I just posted something on Google, so you all should run over there and see what I posted because, well, let's just say in the least, you guys have no control of your life now. So, the investigation's over, and all the things that I used to be, I'm not. So, when I say that, I say it lightly, because I did post one thing I am. So, the request for over 450,000 people to investigate North America region and the America region and the North Canada region. So, so Charles, what was it? Charles, Jonathan, is that what it was? Yeah, Charles Jonathan McCain. Made up name for his last name. His last name ain't McCain. Asked in 1980 because he knew that I was here and they were trying to keep it secret and hush hush until I became of age and whatnot. As the complaint is that Jonathan Leonard was killing people. There's a group of many other people, his name, that were on that list of just killing people. So when you start talking McCain, I think everyone in the country starts throwing up because, you know, as a sitting politician, excuse me about that, as a sitting politician, you're saying to me that within the time of your knowledge and working for the government, that you are technically not blameless, but I mean, it's like a pressure cooker. You just gotta wait until it blows off, and then you pull the lobster out, and you got one called McCain. That's the interesting part. Lobsters, last time I checked, were red. So, as far as, you know, God, the Mormons, which is morons, I used to call them more morons. So, trying to build a religion around that is actually pretty funny. Just about everything you do exposes the fact of what a moron would do. As far as UCIC and UC is the people that can't go anywhere. They're not allowed outside North America. Like I said, McCain, you are awaiting trial for a crime that you did, and I'm looking at the two different versions of two different morons. The one on Jersey Shore and the one sitting down there in a politician's place. Because I'm waiting for the one in Jersey Shore to pass away because he's not doing good. Because that moron down there wanted to go kill an infant, better known as John McCain. Because that's what you did in Dry Run, dude. So when you start saying you're innocent, you might as well just put the gun to your head and pull the trigger. I mean, seriously, dude. You will not be getting the whatever you call promised land. You won't be getting there either, man. That's why they put the promised land out there beyond Scranton. You can sit there all day and look at the lake. And this isn't a threat either, so you might want to start coming down to real life. As far as who actually does what in this country, because when I see a lot of people that shut their mouth and they're quiet and whatnot, and I'm not talking about brown people, because brown people are that which have a problem. I know this. If you ever heard the notion or the thought of thinning of the skin to get to that of brown, to that be expelled by that of sweat, then you would know that how a brown person, what they have to do to get rid of whether or not someone in Africa made a mistake when they died the last time. So some idiot, mainly named John McCain, said, dig this guy up, I'm going to throw his guts all over him, make him brown, and because that's what you were accused of, John McCain. So being relatively legal, you aren't. So for you to sit down there, that's kind of funny. Trying to imitate more than one person, eh? So let's see. Enough of John McCain. The UCIC has been using the stock market as a front to collect data on pretty much everyone. I mean, White House, everyone. McCain, the president, Obama, Bush, Reagan. Reagan knew as soon as I showed up that his freedoms were gone, his liberties were gone, and his rights were diminished. And that's the interesting part for what has happened. So as far as North America, because the United States don't exist, you're not united. You know, I don't see 349,000 people, even though they say 350 million people fitting into one person. As far as ignorance on words, I mean, that's definitely, looking at everything, the transcripts and everything, there's no way that, that McCain or Obama or some of these other people are going to get out of what they said. Whether you're on your cell phone, whether you're sitting there with your computer and a microphone, whether it's off or on, you have no privacy here. Everyone understands that. So with this being said, as far as UCIC, let's get something straight with the morons in Washington, D.C., Maryland. All right, UC and IC, you came back and said, "Oh, how much do you want taxed on this country?" It's like, okay, well, it's 12%. 6% is what I get, or not 6%. Sorry, 6 cents. Delete erase 6%. 6 cents on every dollar, regardless of where they're purchasing or whether they're getting UC. 6 cents on every dollar, and then 6 cents on death tax. And beyond that is where people sat down, and then all you're supposed to do. So if a person's making a total, and I won't say gross because gross is actually something that's not allowed to be used in the sense of finance. Okay. So if someone makes a total of $300 a month, how much is the government gonna take as far as them? All right. One, we're gonna start at medical. Second, we're gonna go at a monthly standard, which is non-negotiable, which goes to the unemployment, and unemployment's pretty much just going to have this revolving fund, which works, because I've done it in Europe. Revolving fund, and what happens is every total that you hit in this one single fund, so let's say, for instance, Mary W. has a total of $12,000. Okay, she can use up to $12,000. That's all she can use on unemployment. So when that $12,000 is ended, hopefully she didn't stay an over amount. When I say an over amount, you can't just say $500 a month. All right. When you're living with someone, can't just say $500 a month. So we'll look at like $250 a month. And if you do the mathematics in time, and you try to stay away from welfare, and you try to stay away from unemployment, all right, like I do, then you're going to have a big fund on the account. So like right now, my account, if I, with everything I made, would be somewhere quite large. What happens is when you retire, that large account in UC, okay, starts becoming your old age fund where you can retire. So that $450,000 you earned through the years, you would get entitlement to. So we're going to sit down and say, how long do you expect to live? Say, okay, I'm 65 years old. How long am I going to live? Let's not put a number to it, but let's set the budget to where you need. How much do you owe on everything? So you sit down, you write this little, how much I got to pay every month for whatever you have, and then we add that total up. course, you do qualify for food stamps at this point in time. At that point. So anyway, the point of it is with the fund, more than likely you're going to die before the fund empties, if you set it correctly. So let's say $450 plus expenses. Your expenses are, let's say, $650 a month. So $450 over the $600 a month and whatnot, which is it's kind of low. I'd say 800 plus 400, which would give you enough. Plus you get food stamps, which would help you with the $400, because I've done this with a person here in the United States, and the person, it's like a slow engine. It slowly builds up if you don't spend it. And that's the idea. You save $100 back a month, 12 months go by, you have $1,200. But at the same time, you can, depending on the fund, you can increase that amount of how much you get. Not to sound like a slave driver, but at the same time, let's say you pass away, you die at the age of 89, and there's $150,000 in that account. That account thus rotates, no, not rotates, the erase rotate, thus goes into a lockdown. And when it's locked down, no one can touch that money, not even the UCIC. UCIC turns around and says, we got to do something. We got to make a trust fund, which is not available to the public, and thus they take it over to Europe, where most people were originally from. Okay, one of those European countries, one of your so-called they like to say grandfather, I don't like to use the word grandfather, is from. So we take it over there, we deposit it in a trust fund and whatnot. And what happens is a lot of people will do the interest rate. It's a non-market interest rate. So it never sees the stock market. It never goes into Bosch and Lom's. It'll never go into Nissan. It'll never see Hyundai. But through the use of allowing your money to be used, you accrue this 0.5, 0.8, 1% through the years. Now, if you're guaranteed to be gone for 450,000 years, we'll let you run for about 20 years on that, and then we'll just flat out keep the money where it is. If you murdered, this is not available to you. If you killed something for the point of, like, so let's just say you shot a bunny rabbit and you didn't give a shit and you just, I feel better, kind of thing, and it's found out, you will lose the ability for the interest rate. As far as how much money you can make through the years, on 40 generations, I came up with a total of actually being able to put away $450 million, which is allowed into an estate trust fund, or not an estate trust fund, but a trust fund for a person. I mean, you can get a lot of money saved up this way, and this is where I'm thinking that every person hiding behind a religion, hiding behind gayism, is trying to cover up. Politicians, the Senate, House of Representatives, if you had a house in such a representative, since you're staying in one of my mansions, the Congress, you guys don't have anywhere to go. You guys can take your sorry asses out on the sidewalk and sit down on the curb if you want to organize a meeting. Because I'm no longer being sympathetic. As far as the lie you like to tell American people through the books and history, which has been proven into that in front of Europe, in front of a lot of people, that the need to keep accuracy inside history. Okay, we don't say we fight wars that we haven't fought. We don't use transcripts from movies and videos and throw them into a history book and say, oh yeah, I fought World War I and World War II and World War III and World War IV and World War V and World War VI, and I'm still here. But at the same time, you take them into a courtroom and be like, huh? Oh, there's only one way to live, dude. One life for one person. That's what a lot of stuff I hear from religious people. That's murder regardless. So guess what? You won't get a life. I'll cut you off from life, which I know how to do, and you'll be dead. That's why the UCIC and people blaming me for that. good luck, because if you figured out the numbers of how much you're saving and a paycheck and whatnot, roughly to start out at $250, at $60 to $80 banking on taxes, and so much of those taxes going to me and so much of it going to the death percent, and then thus the government, if established correctly, would get the endorsements by that of funding for, you know, I need a 2-lane highway here, or I need a bridge here, I need a railroad there, and whatnot. Because at the same time, normally the tax is 18, not percent, but cent. If I say percent, just ignore it. Because the total tax I take is 18 cents. So I may front the money for the fact of, you know, a road, a bridge, train tracks being laid down, and whatnot. But at the same time, it'll be a higher percentage rate. As far as taxing people 20% off what they make annually is ridiculous. What are you doing with the money? Oh, we're going to war. We went to war with Saudi Arabia. Did no one do that? Went to war with Iraq too. Went to war with North Korea, trying to invade them from the upper north. Out of the desert. That failed. They bombed the shit out of the U.S. troops. Tried to go to war with Russia. Russia flatlined more than over 13,000 people. Actually, I think it's 8,000 people. That's why you never put a murderer in a place of business, and neither do you put a murderer in a place of peaceful, innocent people. So good luck for the funding of things. As far as China, they cannot fund you, because I have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt of a lot of other things, delirious shadow of a doubt, beyond a lot of other things, that China does not have the best history. And if it does have a better history, it'd be stupid to fund the United States and the falsified United States, because that's all you refer to. Oh, this is the United States. When you're in trouble, oh, this is the United States of America. When you're really, really in trouble, it's North America. And when you're really, really in trouble, it's America. No, it ain't. It's a secession, is what it's called, morons. And I'm actually saying that wrong, so, because I don't have it in front of me. It's a long word you can't describe, and I put it up on Facebook. And I've also put it up on Google, where it says that you're in Canada, bitch. So hate the Canadians all you want, you're just hating yourself. As far as the rest of the land was all built up and whatnot to a certain point of certainty. Delirious certainty to a certain point. It is legal for a person to take a United States soldier whom has killed or murdered and hold them as a POW, prisoner of war. But I like to call hostage. One person gets shot, I remove him off the battlefield and throw him in prison. That's better than what he's ever going to get with a bunch of morons sitting on Capitol Hill. If it was Capitol Hill, delirious Capitol Hill, down in Washington. A bunch of money grubbers. Delirious grubber, because that's actually a snail. Not a snail, but a grub worm. So you see the guy down that I was talking to in North Carolina to, oh, 1 second, I'll make another video. If I can hit the off button.